Hello and welcome to Interactive CAD and Tech. Today I'm going to be going through how you make a 2D image look 3D. And this example is my channel logo, my YouTube channel logo. If you find this video helpful, please do subscribe to the channel to support. It's much appreciated. So just to get started, what I'm going to do is I've opened my channel logo as a PNG file in Affinity Designer, and I'm going to edit it. So the first way I'm going to edit it is I'm going to go up to View, and then I'm going to go to Studio, and then go to Isometric. So this Isometric toolbar is what helps us make the 2D image look 3D. So I'm going to go to Modify Grid. I'm going to tick Show Grid, and I'm going to leave everything else grid type isometric as default and close it down. So now that's activated the Isometric toolbar, and you can see the grid lines it's created. If I click side, it changes it and makes the grid face towards the left. If I go front, it makes it face towards the right of the screen. But it depends on what direction you actually want to do your 3D image. But I'm going to go to top, and I'm going to go into layers, and I'm going to click my background layer, and I'm going to go fit to plane. So now, as you can see, it's flipped it in the same orientation as the grid, and this helps us when we're making it look a lot 3D. So now I'm going to click off the isometric, and I'm going to go to the PNG toolbar, and I'm going to go down to selection brush. So the selection brush, if you want an in-depth explanation of how to use it, go to my previous videos, cutting out images and removing backgrounds. It'll go into a lot more detail. But just to summarize it, you have select, deselect, the width of the tool, and refine your selection. So what I'm going to do is just click around the edges. Just undo that because that was a bit rubbish. And what it's doing is it's selecting all the white. So now I've selected all the white. I'm going to go to refine my selection, and I'm going to smooth out the edges a little bit and make the border width a bit tinier. And then just smooth it out a little bit, like a nice smooth edge. So if I click apply, now it's selected around this edge, and that's the selection. And if you look on the layer tree, I've only got the background layer on it. So what I'm going to do is click select up here. So now it's select, and I'm going to go Command X to cut my selection, or if you're on Windows, it's Control X. So I'm going to go Command X, and as you can see, it's cut out perfectly my logo, and that's what I want to make 3D. So now I'm just going to press Command V, or if you're on Windows, Control V, and it's added it into the tree. So just to avoid confusion, I'm going to get rid of the background layer. So that is our isometric, and now we need to make it 3D. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the main toolbar, and I'm going to go to fill. I'm going to fill it, click the layer I'm editing, and fill it and make it red. So now I've made it red, what I'm going to do is add some effects. So if I go to effects, and I want to outline, make a nice tiny outline around the edge. So now I've got my logo. I've cut it out of the original 2D image. I've made it on an isometric plane, and now I want to copy it up to make it look 3D. So to do that, on the same plane, I'm going to go to the selection, and I'm going to go to the layers. So now, as you can see, I've got background, which I'll rename to layer 1. I'm going to copy up and go Control C, or Control V, or if you're on Mac like me, Command C, Command V. So now I'm going to copy it. So I've copied it once, and then you just pull it up to make it look 3D. And then I'm going to repeat this again. So I'll just copy the top one, Control C, Control V. Make sure you keep copying the top one. I'm going to do it 3 or 4 times. Control C, Control V. And if you mess up, you just press Control Z and get rid of that layer. And I'll do one more. So if we go to that, Control C, Control V. So now you get this really nice effects of a 3D image poking out. If you didn't want the layered effect, you don't have to put the outline on. So if you go to effects, you can turn the outline off on all your layers, and it does make it look like a solid block. Sorry about the emojis popping up there. Effects. But because there's a logo with no background, it does depend what you make in 3D. So I'm just going to leave it like that because I think it looks better. Now I've got the logo looking 3D. What I'm going to do is draw a rectangle over it. And this rectangle comes in the tree. I want to, for starters, make it white. So change it to white. And I'm going to drag it down the order to make it go behind everything. So what I've done there is reordered it wrong. So now it's behind my logo. What I'm going to do is I'll just change it from that to that, and just, if I go to view and then turn show grid off, that's what my logo looked like. So I've made a 2D image, cut it out, rotated it isometric, and made it look 3D. So this, after a lot of tinkering, is the final product, what I've done for a 3D logo. So how I've done this is I've selected the layers that I've created. So I've selected the layers underneath, so I've left the top layer at the top, and I've put effects on that. So I've put outer shadow, outer glow, and outline on it. So if I untick it, you can see it starts going back to how it was, but I'm going to leave it like that. So this is, I just didn't put that in the video because it's just a lot of me just trying things out, so trying blurs out and glows and so on. So I'm sure people are a lot more creative than me, but this just shows you with the effects on the layers what's the final outcome is you can have from your image, and I think it looks really good to say we've just cut it out of a 2D image. Also, you can do it with text. So this is an example of RGD Fitness logo that I've created. And same again, I've used the exact same technique. If I go to the layers, I've grouped it up. So I've just copied up the layers, cut out the logo, put it isometric, copied it up 3D, and then the effects I've put on that to this is an outer shadow. Show you by selecting the group. Is an outer shadow with some glow effects on. So if I just and then also 3D and a bit of an embossing as well. So it just shows you can use the same technique on multiple things to get a 3D coming out of the ground kind of look. I hope you found this little video helpful. If you have, please subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.